Okay, so Leetcode practice time. Alright, so there are two goals in this video. The first one is to see how to solve this problem, and then we will put some code there. And the other one is we will see how to behave during a coding interview, which is proper. So remember the first part. Always the first thing to do in a coding interview is try to first understand the problem. If there's anything you feel unclear, please bring up the questions to have the interviewer to clarify, and also at the same time think about the edge cases. So let's see, for this question, meeting rooms, it's given given an array of meeting time intervals where intervals I has a start time and the end time, and determine if a person could attend all the meetings. So for example 1 has intervals like this, and it returns false because there's some overlap between meeting 1 and meeting 2. And similarly for this one, it doesn't have a conflict, so we are going to return true here. Alright, so I think we are pretty much clear about what the question is asking us to do. So the first thing is I would ask if the array could be empty. If it is empty, then of course there's no conflict. Okay, so that could be a potential edge case, but I don't think we need to deal with specially. We should be able to cover in a general code instead of using some edge case checking strategy for that one. And in the constraints, it says that the end time of meeting I is for sure to be after the start time of meeting I. Alright, so and each interval has exactly two numbers, which are the start time and the end time. Alright, it sounds good. So let's see. The second step is about finding the solution. So what will be the solution for this one? So I think the first thing in my mind is to do sorting. Yeah, I think it is to do the sorting based on the start time. So if it has the same start time, if two meetings have the same start time, do we need to further care about the end time? I don't think so, because if the two meetings start at the same time, then for sure we are going to be able to detect the overlap. So I would say so first of all, sort using the start timestamp, and then we will go through the sorted array, see if the next meeting's start time comes before the previous meeting's end time. Alright, so the runtime is going to be n log n due to the sorting. N means the number of the meetings we have. Okay, so after we find the code, we find the solution, and we communicate with the interviewer and get an agreement about this. It's time for us to do some coding. So for coding part, we care about the correctness of the code and the readability of the code, and of course the speed. So don't be too slow. So let's see. We will say arrays.sort intervals. So we will give a lambda expression. So let's say meeting 1 and meeting 2. So this one would be meeting 1 0 minus meeting 2 0. Okay, so I think that's it for this lambda. The next thing is we are going to iterate through the meeting. So int I is equal to I is equal to 0, I smaller than intervals dot length -1 and plus I. So we will see if intervals I plus 1 and 0, this is the start time of the next meeting. If it comes before intervals I1, so if it comes before that, that means we need to say there is some conflict. So there's conflict. When there's conflict, we return false, and at the end we return true. So let's take an example for this one. For the after we do testing, the next thing for us to do is to do some, after we're done with coding, the next thing for us to do is to do some testing. So for the testing part, first of all, you need to do some sanity check by going through an example, manually check if it is going to work, and at the same time you can explain how this piece of code is going to work to your interviewer. And after that, you will need to come up with some different test cases to make sure that you have good enough test coverage. So for this one, suppose let's use the example one to explain this piece of code. So first of all, we are going to sort by the start time. So this array is already sorted, and then we compare the start time of the next meeting with the end time of the previous meeting. If it's smaller, then we return false. Otherwise, we return true. So for this one, because 5 is smaller than 30, so it means there is some conflict. So we are going to return false. So similarly, I think this is going to return true. So I would say if we have set out those two examples, it should be good enough regarding the test coverage. So let's give it a try. Alright, it's accepted, and it's okay. So all looks good to me at this moment. So we are pretty much done about this question. If you have any question about this coding puzzle, please leave some comments below. If you feel useful for watching this video during the time you practice your coding or prepare your interview, please give me a thumb up, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.